Okay, let's take two. Take two on this. We had to do a complete shutdown, a complete reboot. Um, so I'm going to wait just a moment and then we'll get started, and hopefully no problems for the rest of the day. Is today Tuesday or Monday? No, today is our Tuesday help day. And hey there, and welcome to Crochet Therapy. I'm your host, Barbara. For today's episode, it's a live, and it is our Help Tuesday series. And today's series is about amigurumi tips. And so today, I would like to talk to you about amigurumi, the large and the small of it. Let me see if I can remember what I said on the first one. Anyway, amigurumi is a mashup of two Japanese words that basically means stuffed toy. And so amigurumi can be something small. It can be even smaller than this. It can be something rather large. If it's a toy and it's stuffed and it is, a crochet amigurumi, then there you go. So this one was one of my first amigurumi. It wasn't my first, but it was one of my first. And it is, one of my favorites, actually. I started on this end and then just worked in the round, followed the YouTube instructions, which were very helpful, and ended right here. The YouTube instructions that I followed were very helpful. She gave a lot of tips and tricks as she was teaching how to do this amigurumi piece, and I really appreciated it. I had just the perfect colors that I thought were the perfect colors for me. And so I made this little gal. One thing that made me really happy was that I had some eyes. If you're going to start doing amigurumi, you may want to invest in a little box of eyes, and they come in different sizes. They come in different shades. And if you look on Amazon, you can find a little box of multi colors, multi shapes, multi sizes of eyes. And that's what makes it really fun, because then you're not limiting yourself, to a specific size. Now, if you don't shop Amazon, or if you have a local store handy, a local craft store handy, and you want to get them today and you want to make something today, run out there and see what they have. They have different size eyes, and then they also have some noses, which are really cute. I have a couple different kinds of noses. I have one that is almost like, an upside down heart, and then I have one that is like a dog nose. It kind of comes out a little bit, So I have some choices to make. I also have different colors of eyes. It just makes it fun. And that's the main thing with amigurumi, is for you to have fun making these projects. So don't let it stress you out. That's my number one tip. Don't let amigurumi stress you out. Now, the title says something about, amigurumi amateur, but amateur doesn't mean that you've never made amigurumi. It just means that you still feel, a little bit unsure or unsteady, or you're still learning. And so these tips will hopefully help you. So I'm going to put this little gal right here so that I can look at her as I am talking to you. So my number one tip, obviously, was to enjoy the process, to have fun with it, and to be creative. And but really, the main thing that you're going to have to remember is to use the right hook. So a lot of times when you're following a YouTube tutorial regarding, making an amigurumi project, that person is going to be using their yarn. When I followed my very first amigurumi project, it was a jellyfish. And that jellyfish was the most fun thing for me because it was stress-free. It was very simple. It was a simple circle, and it just basically made a dome and then flat on the bottom. And then it had the tendrils on the bottom that, were connected. And she showed all of the details, and it was very fun. Now, my instructor that I watched was using a thicker weight yarn. She was actually using a 5 or 6 weight yarn. I was using the Caron Simply Soft, which says that it's a 4, but it actually is a very thin 4 or a fat 3. So I had to make an adjustment on my hook size. So my instructor, on the tutorial, was using the thick yarn, and she specified what size hook she was using. Now, if I had just gone with my yarn and used her hook, I would have had a disaster with my first amigurumi project. And I would have been very disappointed because that hook would have been way too big for my yarn. The tip with doing amigurumi, whatever yarn you choose, you always want to go down a hook size. So for instance, if I wanted to do an amigurumi with this Ice Cream Deluxe yarn, this says that it is a bulky weight 6 yarn, and it advises to use an N as in Nancy hook, N as in Nancy. So if I were going to do an amigurumi, at the very least, I would go down 1 hook size, and I would use probably a K hook, okay? If I were going to do something with this, okay? So what that's going to do is to make sure that your amigurumi is not, the stitches are not so loose that when you stuff them, that the stuffing doesn't come through. Also, you don't want to see holes in your project, okay? So here's this little guy right here. And if you saw gaping holes in him, you would see the white coming through, and see even there's a little bit, but you would see the white coming through, you would see gaping holes, and that would not be good, because then when you look at this little guy, you wouldn't be seeing how cute this thing is. You would be seeing, oh, I see the inside of this guy while I'm, trying to admire him. And it would just take away from the fun and, and the whimsy of this amigurumi. And one thing that amigurumi is very whimsical and very fun. So with that said, if this is your first time venturing into amigurumi, don't worry too much. If your recipient is going to be a little one, that little one is going to love your stuffed toy, no matter what it looks like. Trust me, because in my first tries of doing amigurumi, especially when I ventured into the larger items, such as, a puppy dog, my dog did not quite come out looking like a dog. It came out looking like a little alien monkey dog kind of a thing, okay? It happens. It happens. So, but my recipient, my little granddaughter, loved it just as much. Okay. And when I showed it to her, she said, I was trying to make my pug. And, pugs kind of look a little weird and alienish anyway. But this one, yeah, I was winging him. And you know what happens when you wing it. So anyway, but she loved him anyway. And I showed it to, when she first saw it, I said, who is that? And she said, Theo. And because Theo is our pug. So she got it. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Okay. The adults in your life, they can like laugh at it or make fun of it, which I may or may not have been the recipient of that. I don't know, but as long as the little ones love it, that's all that matters. Don't let other people stop you from doing something that you enjoy. They may not understand your crochet. They may not understand your passion, and they may not understand amigurumi, and that's okay. Don't let them. Oh, Patty. Thanks for coming back, Patty. Wow, we've had some squirrels in the computer line today. It has been a fun morning. I'm glad. Welcome back. And I love doing amigurumi as well. And so thank you for your input, Patty. And so don't let other people discourage you, because amigurumi is a great pastime. It's loads of fun. Are there things that I've made that I will never make again? Yes. Thank you, Patty. Yes, there are things that I have made in the past that I will never make again. I made a small elephant, and boy, was it cute. But the little feet and the little nose and the little ears and the little tail, it was just a little bit too much little for me. Now, maybe I would make a bigger one, but this one was really cute, and he was to sit on a shelf, and it was for a friend who loves elephants. And so, I made it, and her favorite color was blue. So I made a blue elephant. And so it was the best of both worlds for her. And so that was when I was first learning. And, there are some things that I really learned by doing that one. So number one is to use the right hook. You don't want to use too small of a hook, because you don't want your amigurumi to be so tight that there's no give to it. You don't want it to feel like, a wicker basket or anything. But, oh, hey, Homespun, nice. Homespun is making gnomes, and she can't do the smaller ones. The arthritis makes it difficult. And that's, my hands are really what is keeping me from doing the smaller amigurumi as well. So, but go ahead and use a smaller hook size. So with this one, I would use a size K hook, and I actually did make something with this, and I'll show it to you in just a minute, and we'll go over that. So the second tip that I have for you is a must. It really is a must. Use stitch markers. Stitch markers will save your life, not literally, but figuratively, when you're doing amigurumi, because when you're working in the round, unless you have made tons and tons and tons of amigurumi and you just are like a master at it, when you're first starting out, it is so easy to get lost. Yeah, amen to stitch markers, because especially when you're doing the increases each row, you need to make sure that you have completed that row, that you have, otherwise you're going to be doing math all day long, because you're going to have to count. You're going to have to go, okay, nope, I need one more. Stitch markers will just, really save your hide. And that way, then you will know exactly where you start, where you end. You'll know that your count is correct, and you will know what row you are actually on, because when you're working in the round, sometimes it tends to drift, and you may think that you are on the right row, and you may think that you have one more of the repeat to do, and you actually don't, and then you'll end up with an off count. So anyway, stitch markers are your friend, definitely. There's lots of different things that you can use for stitch markers. There are, I just happen to have this one right here. This one I really like, because I can just flip it in. I don't have to hook it, and then I flip it back out. However, I have had this one fall out on me before, And then I had to do a lot of math to figure it out. In fact, I had it fall out on me on camera. And so then we used that as a teachable moment and actually did the count and figured out where we were supposed to be. The other one, there are metal stitch markers. There are the fancy stitch markers with the little charms. There are, how about using a paper clip? How about, oh, thank you, Patty. Paper clips are great for stitch markers. Paper clip, just make sure that the end isn't snaggy, because you don't want to start snagging your yarn. If it is, put a little tip of glue on the end, and that will, smooth that out. No problem. You can use a different colored yarn to mark your stitch, just something to mark the beginning. Safety pins, good idea. I love it. I love it. And so, you don't have to go to an expense. Not that these are expensive, because they're really not. But the thing that I like about these is, number one, they're not expensive. You can get like 100 of these for maybe $3. Trust me, you're going to lose them. I don't know where they go. I have no idea. I have, purchased a couple packs of, stitch markers, and where they go, I don't know. They're like that extra sock in the dryer, they just, they disappear. I don't know. So this is inexpensive, and it's just an easy way. Safety pins are really great. The great thing about safety pins is that they're a little more hefty, and so you don't lose them maybe as quick as you would something like this. Actually, what I think is that they get lost down in the sofa or wherever I am crocheting, and they get down there, and then maybe they get picked up by the vacuum. I'm not sure. Okay, the next tip that I have for you is to stuff wisely. Now, when I talk about stuffing wisely, I mean, now this little guy, he's a pretty standard shape, okay? He doesn't have a lot of, he doesn't have a head or arms or legs or whatever. And so, he's pretty easy to do. So as you go, I waited until I got here and then I stuffed him. But part of the stuffing wisely is to make sure that you don't overstuff and make sure that you don't understuff. So I'm going to give him a squish. You ready? Okay. So see, I'm just using gentle but firm pressure. And you can see I go just a little bit. So he has a little bit of give, but he doesn't, he doesn't collapse completely. He does have a little give, but he's not overstuffed. If you overstuff your amigurumi, then you are going to start seeing stuffing come out. You also want to stuff. Now, when I first started, this is how I wanted to stuff, okay? I took a big old chunk of fiber fill and I just shoved it in there. Well, that can make your amigurumi lumpy. So we're going to be a wise stuffer, and we're going to take little handfuls. And now I don't mean like a little quarter size, okay? We're not going to be here all day, stuffing little tiny spoonfuls of, fiber fill. But in the same instance, we're not going to, take a whole pound and just shove it in, okay? But we're going to take manageable pieces of fiber fill, and we're going to stuff it in there. And then I usually just take my hand, take a couple fingers, and just kind of wiggle it around just to make sure that I get in all of the grooves, to make sure that it gets filled out, to make sure it kind of gets spread out in there. And also so that the new fiber fill that I'm adding can kind of marry with the fiber fill that's in there already. So I don't have like individual lumps of fiber fill in there. So don't overstuff, don't understuff. Also, make sure that you kind of wiggle that around in there to just kind of get it all in there and, happy. Use smaller pieces of fiber fill to fill it so that you don't get the lumps, and have fun with it. Have fun with it. This little guy, Homespun says that her cat steals the stitch markers. I know. I know, and they like to like bat them around. That's funny. So this little guy is not my pattern, and she's actually, I'm gonna try to remember to put the link down below once we're done. But this is the, if you just Google Bumblebee Amigurumi, there's a couple of them out there. This one has the 3 stripes, and this one I think was the original one that was out there. And you can see that this was one of my first ones. So I do have a jog, you know, as far as that goes, and there is a way to fix that. And, you know, there is a way to fix that so that you don't have the jog, but that's a little bit in depth, so we're not going to go into that right now, but keep learning. That's one of my tips for amigurumi, is keep learning crochet tips that will help you with your stitches. So you see what I did was I put this one kind of towards the bottom, so that, you know, because he's a cylinder, so that it wasn't, you know, that it's not obvious. And so there's always ways to hide things. But no, this is not my pattern, but super cute, super cute. There's some copycats out there of the bumblebees, but this one I believe is one of the first ones, and it has the 3 black stripes. And she's a lovely person who did the tutorial, so I'll see if I can get the link for this one. Okay, so we went over using the right hook, use stitch markers, stuff wisely. One thing that is really helpful is to use an invisible increase or an invisible decrease when you are working. So when you're doing, like for this one, we are just going to do, you know, the regular increase where we would put 2 stitches in 1 stitch. So there's not really an invisible increase. But when we go back down, there would be a way to do an invisible decrease so that you don't have big gaping holes. And so basically what you're doing is you are using just 1 strand of the V instead of using both strands of the stitch. You're just using 1. And what I would suggest you do is do a search for invisible decrease and follow a tutorial for that. And if I get a chance, I will do a separate tutorial on doing the invisible decrease. What that will do is help bring the stitches together and keep them together so that you don't have big gaping holes in, you know, the area where you're decreasing. It does help. It does help. So I'm pretty pleased with the way this one turned out. It was one of my first ones, and this is where I did the decreases. And, you know, you can see it's not perfect, and this is where I joined it. This is where I, you know, stitched it up. It's not perfect. Hey, Nikki, welcome back. And so, but I'm really pleased with the way he turned out. I'm pleased with that tutorial that I watched. It's not mine, and I will try to remember to put the link down below because he is super cute. He's easy to make. You basically, you know, he's got a little bit of pink here, but basically the colors you see are, you know, the yellow, the bright yellow or orangey yellow is what I used, black, and then some white for the wings. So anyway, I will try to remember to do that. So the other thing is, the last thing in my tips for you is to basically be fearless and just go for it. Go for it. A lot of times, you know, when you're doing the amigurumi, if you choose a pattern that is not miniature, but small and quick, those are some of the most fun. This one is not mini, it's not small, it's on the small side. This one was probably one of my most fun ones because it was small enough that it was quick, but large enough that it I didn't feel like I was working with like little miniatures. And I can tell you that, you know, I didn't have to use too small of a hook, and I just really liked it. This is an Easter egg bunny, and he's got two different colors, so that's why it looks like he's lighter on the bottom, because he is lighter on the bottom, and his little ears. And so this is a little Easter egg bunny. I have not put his eyes on or his nose or mouth. I'm going to do whiskers as well. I haven't embellished him. I'm also going to take a little bit of white yarn and make a pom-pom and put a pom-pom little back on him, a little tail. So I really, really love him. Now he is squishable. You know, as you can see, I'm squeezing, but he's nicely filled. And so anyway, I'm going to go over right now the pattern for this little guy. Yes, and this is a really good Easter type amigurumi, okay? And so we're going to make him together, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, with this one, I used the Ice Cream Deluxe in the Lion brand, and I used the, you know, it's kind of like a velvety yarn, and it's thick, and I used a K hook. So he's very quick. Let me turn the page to his instructions. And so these are my written instructions. This is my pattern. And this right here, I'm going to show you, is my vision for his little nose. So I'm going to take some yarn and draw him out, maybe with some white for this, or black, and then a little pink tongue, and then some whiskers, 3 whiskers coming out of it. So this is my vision. This is how I do my patterns when I'm making up a pattern. Okay, I will sit and crochet, and then I will write, you know, one row and the next row and the next row, and I'll do the count, and I keep track of it that way. But anyway, so this bunny we are going to do a tutorial on. Let me back this up. Did you hear that? Yeah, I'm running out of room here. So let me do the face of the amigurumi. Here we go. And so with this bunny, this is a 6-weight yarn. It's kind of more like a 5-weight yarn as far as I kind of feel like. Okay, it's more of a 4-weight yarn. Not 5-weight yarn, but it says that it's a 6-weight yarn. So if all you have is a 4-weight yarn, weight yarn from behind me, okay, and I'm going to choose this really bright, I love this yarn, in the colorway Pink Neon. Okay, let me put this back on. Now, what I'm going to do is look at this yarn, and it says that the hook is an I9 5.5 millimeter. So I'm going to go to my hook set, and I'm going to look and see what is the next step down. So The next step down is a 5.0 millimeter hook. And so I'm going to use that. I may even, in the future go down one more size, but for right now, I am going to use for a 4-weight yarn, I'm going to use an H hook in the 5.0 millimeter hook size. So that's what I'm going to use. Okay, now let's keep track of this little bunny right here. Okay, so he's egg-shaped. Okay, and then he has 2 simple little ears. This could not be the easiest amigurumi. I'm telling you, this is so easy to do. So don't let him intimidate you. Go ahead and grab your yarn. And if you watched me yesterday, I said have some yarn handy. So I'm just going to pull some out. Have some yarn handy. I'm going to move this down just a little bit so that you can see. Now, obviously, this is not going to be like a regular tutorial. This is going to be a walkthrough, okay? And so what we're going to do is a magic circle. So we're going to do a magic circle. And when we do the magic circle, we do 1 chain. Okay, so we have the circle ready. And you can play this back, so don't stress, okay? So we have the circle ready, and we are going to do 6 single crochets in this magic circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And then we're going to give it a little tug, but we're not going to close it all the way. So you don't want to make it really tight. You just want to leave a little hole, because if you make it too tight, then it's hard to get into that first stitch. Now, you know me, I always back up. I always start with the stitch that's next to my hook, and I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that I can make sure that I get into that first stitch. Now we're going to work in the round, and we will not be fastening off. Okay, so in this first stitch and in every stitch around, we are going to put 2 single crochets. This will be our increase row. So after that first single crochet, I'm going to take my stitch marker and I'm going to mark that first stitch. And then I'm going to tighten my tail end just a little bit. And then I'm going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around, which will make a total stitch count of 12. So stick with me while we do this. Now, you know that since I'm using a smaller weight yarn, this bunny is going to be smaller than the one that I showed you as my example, okay? So we're not going to worry about the size, but this is how you can make your amigurumi larger or smaller, just simply by going up a size of yarn or down a size. Okay, so just going to make sure that I have 12. Since I was talking to you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Okay. I am one that if I am cooking in the kitchen and I'm having to measure, nobody can talk to me because I will mess it up every single time. Not fun. Okay, so that was row 1. 2 single crochets in each stitch, which was an increase row, a straight increase row. The next row, we are going to do an increase in the first stitch, and in the next stitch, 1 single crochet. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. So we do 2 single crochets in the next row, in the next stitch, excuse me. 1, 2, and then I'm going to back up 2, and I'm going to put my stitch marker in. Always use your stitch marker. And then the next one, 1. 1, 2, 1. And you're going to keep doing that all the way around. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. Okay. So that's pretty good. That's row number 2. Row number 3, we're going to follow the same pattern, and we are going to do an increase. That's 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then in the next 2 stitches, do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So you do an increase, and then 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and you're going to do that all the way around. So this round 2, you would have had 18 stitches at the end of this row, and the next row, increase, that's 2 single crochets, and then a single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and at the end of this next row, you will have 24 stitches. So that was my increase, and now in the next 2, 1, 2, so then I'm going to say increase, and 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, 1, 2. And once you get this kind of pattern down, as far as you know, how to grow the stitches, you can create your own patterns. Just like I did with this little bunny. Okay, so I'm at the end of that row. I have 24 stitches. And now in row number 4, I am going to do a single crochet in each stitch around. I'm not going to increase. So I want to make sure that I put my stitch marker in that first stitch, and I'm just going to single crochet all the way around. You know, some days we need something that's a little mindless so that we can just you know, not think about what's going on, something to keep our hands busy, to keep our anxiety at bay, or nervousness, or, you know, anything if we're feeling anxious about, or, you know, any emotion, actually. This will help. I was crocheting on my grandson's blanket yesterday, and I got quite a bit done. And boy, I was so glad that I was crocheting on his blanket, because it just made the day better. So by doing that 1 single crochet, it does want to, you know, kind of bring it in. Now, be aware that, this is the inside of the crochet. I'm working on the outside. Hey, Valerie. Hey, Squish. Good morning, Jennifer, Kathy, Patty, Nikki. Hey, we are doing a bunny. Sorry, I was busy doing my amigurumi. Now, this bunny is made with a 6-weight yarn. I haven't put his face in yet, or her face in. I haven't decided, but I haven't put the face in yet. But I do have my plans for the face. But right now, we're just talking about how easy it is to do a little amigurumi. And so that's with a 6-weight yarn. So I went ahead and got a 4-weight yarn and an H hook 5.0 millimeter. And we are making a bunny together. And I'm using hot pink. And we are now on row 5. So we are going to do an increase single crochet in the first stitch and 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. That's where we're at. And so we're going to repeat that around, increase, single crochet, okay, so I just did 2. I'm going to back up to 2 and a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And we're going to just keep repeating that until we get all the way around. 1, 2, 3. And when we get to the end, we should have 30 stitches. Increase. How is everybody doing? Two, 3. I'm going to do an increase. This is such an easy 1, 2, 3. I have to count. I have to count. This is such an easy little Easter egg bunny. So I'm not going to be doing any arms or legs for him. I am going to do a pom-pom tail. And I'm going to do some eyes and a little upside down heart for his mouth with a little tongue sticking out and some whiskers. And that is my plan for this little guy. I am going to be very simple and very intentionally simple with this guy. Oh, you're making a birthday cake. Yay. Happy birthday, Abby. Happy birthday. Okay. Now let me just make sure. I'm pretty sure. 1, 2, 3, and then, yeah. Okay. Increase. And 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Valerie. It's really cute for kids and it's super fast. So, if you have children in your life, you can just make a whole bunch of these up ahead. And, I don't know if you get to do baskets or not. Let me see. Some families want you to save the baskets only for the Easter bunny. But if you get to do a basket, you could do that, or just hand this over and just, say, look what I made for you. Okay. So at the end of this row, we are going to have 30 stitches. And remember, this is the right side. This that you are seeing is actually the inside. That's where rows 6, 7, and 8, we are going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So this one is easy. We're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. 6, 7, and 8. And keep in mind that, when you use a smaller weight yarn, like a 4-weight yarn, it is going to make a smaller project than your 6-weight yarn. And that's okay, because that just means that it's going to be that much more adorable. And your little ones are going to be able to fit. Yes, you can make and donate it. Oh, that's such a sweet, sweet thought, Kathy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I am not using, because I have a little one that will be a year old right at Easter, a little granddaughter that will be a year old. And then my older granddaughter, is 3. So I don't worry about her as much, but the littlest one does like to chew. So I will not be using the plastic eyes. I won't be using those on this. I'm just going to, crochet a little eye and then sew it on, or I might just sew, use needle. Good morning, Wendy, and do the eyes and the mouth that way. So that way it's going to be, any age appropriate. Even though there's supposed to be safety eyes, it is into crochet, and children have a way of working things loose that you would not imagine. So just for my own heart, I'm going to make sure that, and so that I don't have to worry or be concerned or anything like that, I am going to just embroider or sew or crochet or somehow embellish my little Easter egg bunny face, so that I'm not going to worry about the plastic getting pulled off in any way. So anyway, this little guy is just so cute. So cute. And you can see he kind of looks like he's got a top and a bottom, but that's just because of the striping of the yarn that I used. It was a lighter yarn and then it went to a darker yarn. So it just naturally did that. And so anyway, there we go. So I'm on my second out of 3 rows of just straight single crochet, working on that. And nice. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you. There's a lot of good good content out there, that's for sure. And I know a lot of people who do like Fiber Spider and watch him very regularly. So that's awesome. Okay. Well, this little hot pink Easter egg bunny is going to be so adorable. I'm really excited about her. And so that is really neat. Okay, so I have one more row of straight single crochet, and then cool. Okay. We are halfway there. This is such an easy project to do, and it really doesn't take a lot of time. It's not stressful. It doesn't have a lot of little pieces to put on. I'll show you my secret to putting the ears on and to working with the ears. And I love the idea of donating these little guys, especially if you use a 4-weight yarn. You can make so many of these up so quickly, so quickly. Now, I like the way this H hook is working up. I don't know if you can see really well how, you know, there's a couple spots that you can see little holes through, but not big. And I'm really liking it. And it feels stiff but supple. So it feels firm, but it's still movable and it's still squishy. It doesn't feel like, you know, it's been hairsprayed or any acrylic or any glue sprayed on it. So it feels really, really good. So all right, so I'm at the end of that row. And the next row is a decrease. So what we're going to do is a decrease single crochet, and then we're going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches, a decrease single crochet in the next 4 stitches. I actually don't wash them, Patty, because I love this yarn. And to me, it's soft enough. Even when I use the Red Heart, I don't wash them just simply because of the stuffing. Now, if I were going to wash them, I would wash them before I stuff them, which would just make it, to me, a little more complicated. So I don't wash them just because of the stuffing. And then I want to make sure that it would get dry. And what if it wasn't dry and it got moldy inside? I would just be concerned about that. But that's just me. Just me. So, you know, I would do what you felt was right, and you would know if it was, you know, dry inside. I think, you know, that's just me. So, I always make sure that my hands are clean when I'm crocheting. Obviously, I don't want to get anything on the yarn itself. So I feel like it's okay. Okay, so the next row, we're going to do a decrease. And then 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I went back 5 because the decrease just gives me 1 stitch. Okay, so there we go. Now we're going to do a decrease. And for this purpose, I'm just doing a regular decrease. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, more color choices, definitely. And you're welcome, Patty. Okay. 1 decrease, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. Now, if you guys don't judge me, I will, don't judge me, I will post a photo of my my handwritten pattern. I'll post a photo of my handwritten pattern on the Facebook page, okay? And that way you can follow along. It's definitely, you know, I mean, it's my handwriting. It is not fancy. You're going to have to know REP means repeat that all the way around. Rose Likes Crochet is looking for stuffies. Oh, for this shelter donation for Easter baskets. Nice. Nice. So, Wendy, that would be really, really neat. That would be really neat. And Kathy, she's going to make some for the kids at her food pantry. And, Wendy, if you wanted to make some of these and donate for their Easter baskets, or find one of your local shelters or churches that make up a food basket for families at Easter, so that they have a special dinner for Easter. Maybe that would be a way to do that as well. You just never know. So let's see, I'm going to need, okay, so each one is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's what I thought. I have 3 more. No, because it is actually 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 2 more single crochets because each decrease uses 2 stitches. So this one, 1, 2, decrease, and then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 1, 2. See, that's what I said. If you don't pay attention to what you're doing, and if I didn't have this stitch marker, I would have to do an awful lot of math. And I don't know about you, but I'm not that much into math. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. So we did that. Now what we need to do is row 10, 11, and 12. We need to just do straight single crochet. Just straight single crochet in the next 3 rows. So 1, 2, so 3 more rows of just straight single crochet. And I'll take a photo of this, and I will post it in the photos in the Crochet Therapy Facebook page. So if you're not on the Crochet Therapy Facebook page, go ahead and hit that link below. It's down below, and you will have to answer the 3 questions. I have had to decline several requests lately simply because either the questions weren't answered, or the person just joined Facebook last week, and they already belong to 700 groups, and they only answered one question that said, "I'm new." They didn't agree to abide by anything. And it just is, I want to keep our group safe. I want to keep our group private. I want to keep our group safe from scams and any, anything out of the ordinary. So, that to me was out of the ordinary. If you've joined last week and you already belong to 700 groups and you answer one question, you will not be approved, because we want to make sure that the people that are coming, I don't care if you're new to crochet. That's not the point. Because if you're new to crochet, we welcome you with open arms. But 700 groups, I really felt like that was a bot, and I felt like that was a scam bot. And yeah. Okay, scammers are popping up. One contacted you. Yes. And if you'll notice, in some of the other groups that you may be a part of, people, like they'll say on there, hey, I want to be your friend. Can you friend me? Can you send me a friend request? No, because number one, they are probably scammers. It's probably a bot. It wants you to friend request them, and then they're going to steal your information. And no, we want to keep ourselves safe. I want to keep all of you safe. And so I just want you to know that, you know, if you're watching and you tried to join and the Facebook page and you were declined, that's probably why. If you don't answer the questions, I don't know you're a real person, and I do my best to protect my people because oh yes, Wendy, yeah, you can't get them back. They're taking over the accounts and then you can't get them back. And yeah, I've heard about some of those, and I've heard about some people just really, you know, fighting a really strong cyber attack. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, we are, you know, crocheters. That's all we care about. And yet we have to be, you know, gentle as lambs, but fierce as lions at the same time, you know, gentle to one another, but fiercely protective of each other as well. So, and that's the way I feel about you guys. So, I'm doing my best to stay safe and keep you safe as well. So we'll just do our best. So I'm on the last row of this single crochet round. Pretty sure. Hope so. Like I said, when I talk and bake cookies, the cookies do not come out right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, some do think it's a dating site, and no. We are here to crochet and to keep our anxiety at bay, and yeah, we want the creepy people to stay away too. Stay away. So, all right, I am almost at the end of this row, and this is my last. Okay. Whoop. One more stitch. Okay. So, row 13, we are going to decrease single crochet in the first, you know, the first 2 stitches. We're going to do a decrease, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So the last time we did the decrease, we did 4 stitches between the decreases. This time we're doing 3 stitches. So it's 1 decrease, single crochet, and then 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches, or 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 3 single crochets total. So do a decrease. And let me put my stitch marker in right away so I don't lose it. And then 3. 1, 2, 3, decrease. 1, 2, 3, decrease. Okay, and I didn't do the math, so I don't have the stitch count on that one, but we can mark that out. 3, and then decrease. Okay, we're going on an hour. So I had my little chat with you, and then we're doing this. I'm going to show you 3, the rest of this, and then we're going to do 1 ear. And I think I'm going to do a proper one. So look how small this one is compared to this one. So it really does make a difference. It really does. So of course this one is the right way because his little ears come out forward. So it does make a difference in the size. However, the cuteness is going to be there regardless of the size. So Okay, we did a decrease and single crochet in the next 3. The next row is a single crochet all the way around. So do a single crochet row all the way around. And these single crochet rows help give it that egg shape because it slows down the, the decreases. So that's what helps give it the egg shape. So let's do a single crochet row. And then the next row after this single crochet row will be another decrease row. And instead of single crocheting in 3 stitches between the decreased single crochets, we will crochet single crochets in 2 stitches between the decreased single crochets. So we are, slowly bringing it in. But this one is a single crochet row. I'm almost at the end. And now another idea, if you did want to have a much bigger bunny than this, you could double your 4-weight yarn, and then try using a K hook, okay? A K or a J. And that way you could have a slightly bigger bunny, egg bunny, and that way you could have it that way. Let's see. Oh, seem to be in the fiber community. Yes. Yeah, Wendy, that's terrible. And Patty has noticed on the recipe sites. Yeah. I think what happens is they look for sites with a certain number of viewers because, the sites with the larger viewership, there's just a bigger pond of fish for them to fish in. Unfortunately, I really think that that's it. Okay, so this was row 14. We did 1 single crochet in each stitch. Row 15, decrease single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. We repeat that around until we get back to the beginning. So decrease single crochet, and I am going to do this. And 2 single crochets, 1 in each of the next 2 stitches, decrease, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, decrease, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, decrease, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, decrease, and 1 single crochet, and 1 single crochet. Okay, so it's starting to get a little bit small at the top, so I'm going to run and get some fiber fill. It's just right behind the computer here. So we just did row number 15, decrease single crochet, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. We repeated that around. Now row 16, we are going to do a single crochet in each stitch around. So if you're following and you want to do a single crochet in each stitch around, go ahead and do that. I'm going to go real quick and grab my fiber fill so that I can show you how I stuff it. Be right back. Okay, here we go. Here's the fiberfill. I just got a big old handful of fiberfill. Okay, so the next row is going to be straight single crochet, and that's all well and good. I am actually going to stuff, but before I stuff, I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to tighten this down. And okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to take my needle and I shove the inside up, and you could do this right at the beginning. I didn't, and I should have. It would have made it a whole lot easier, but it's okay. So I'm just going to stitch this magic circle closed really good. Just, go through a couple times just to make sure that it's not going to come loose. And because I would hate for it to come loose on a little one and have all the stuffing come out. So I'm just going to go through a couple different ways. And then I'm actually going to leave the end there. And I'm going to leave it stuffed in there because that will just be part of my stuffing now. So, okay. So before I do that, 16th row, and we only have 3 more rows to go on this. So I'm going to start stuffing. Okay, have a great day, Valerie. See you in the rewinds. So I'm going to take a little bit of stuffing, and this is real fluffy, but you can see I'm just going to go in there and give it a little stuff. I'm going to take this, go in there, swirl it around to get all in the, there we go, to get all in the crevices. Now, one thing that you will notice is that there is just a little bit of a line right there, and that is what I consider my little egg bunny's waist. So anyway, or I can, on this little one, I can use it for his face. So I'm just going to stuff it down in there. Do you see how I'm just using my finger and stuffing it down in? And you probably use a little more than you expect when you do this technique, just simply because, you're letting it incorporate with the fiberfill that's already in there. So, all right, so I'm going to put a little bit more, and before I close it up, I might put in just a little bit more, but I don't want it like coming out of the top while I crochet. So I have 1 more row of single crochet in each stitch around, and okay, single crochet in each stitch around, and I am using my finger just to kind of hold the stuffing down in there, you can see, so that while I crochet, it is not getting caught. going to use my stitch marker. I have this round and we are almost done. Single crochet. And then we're going to do the ears. The ears are super, super easy. It's just 6 rows, 6 rounds rather. And super, super easy. Okay, after you get this row done, the single crochet only row done, that was row 16. In the next row, row number 17, you are going to do a decrease. So it's going to be a decrease and 1 single crochet in the next stitch, a decrease and 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And that way, it is going to bring this closer and closer and closer. Okay, so do a decrease and 1 single crochet. Put your stitch marker in so you know where you're going to end, and then a decrease and 1 single crochet, a decrease and 1 single crochet, all the way around until you get back to, let's see, okay, and a decrease and 1 single crochet. And I'm done with that row. I'm going to put just a little bit more stuffing in there, just the tiniest bit, probably like this. Mostly to fill out those sides, and I feel like I can put a little bit more. Because you do want to have that egg shape. So you don't want to fall short on that top of that egg shape. Okay. Okay. Now, the last row, all we're going to do is decrease single crochets until we close up that top. Okay. And that's all we're going to do. Decrease. Decrease. And I'm trying to make this nice and tight so that the gaps are not that big. Just keep going until you feel like you've got it. Because what we're going to do then is sew up the rest. Okay, I feel like I can do one more, maybe. Okay. All right, so I'm going to leave a nice long strand. I am going to get my scissors. Oh boy. Where did my scissors go? And we're going to cut that and I think that's what I heard clatter to the floor. That's okay because I can use this. Okay. All right. So I am going to make a knot. And then I'm going to take my needle and I am going to bend this over in the direction that I feel it needs to go in order to smooth out the pointy top of my egg. I don't want a pointy egg. I want an egg shape, but I don't want it too pointy. So see, by doing that, you see how it has that little bit right there? By doing that, I can try and coax it down a little bit. So basically, I'm just going to go through the stitches and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to go down through the fiber fill and out near the bottom, and I'm going to give it a pull, not too tight. And then I'm going to squish this around a little bit just to kind of give it a little bit. And then this little bit that's hanging, if I can incorporate that back in, that's great. If I can't, then I'll just cut it off. But I think I can. Maybe with this one. There we go. Okay, so okay. So the body's done. Let's go ahead and do an ear. And then you make 2 of these ears. The ears are super easy. You do a magic circle, 4 single crochets in the magic circle. Yeah, stuffing coming out while you're crocheting is annoying and it's super messy. You are definitely correct, Wendy. 4 single crochets. The ears are super easy. I love the ears. Let's see how they turn out with this 4-weight yarn. I'm going to be very curious. Okay, so we are going to work in a round. In the first round, we are going to increase. So increase in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. So go into that first stitch and single crochet, and then single crochet a second time. Single crochet. I'm going to pull my tail a little bit. I'm going to single crochet back into that same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm also going to put my stitch marker in that first stitch because this is so small. Oh boy, would it be easy to get mixed up. Okay, single crochet in that. Single crochet 2 times in each stitch around. The first round you will have 8 single crochets. And I'm having to hold it this way so that the light from the window is showing on my work because it was kind of blinding me a little bit. I haven't had that problem before. So, okay, so we are going to encourage this to go up into a circle, into a round, okay? So that was an increase. In rows 2 through 5, we are going to just do a single crochet in each round, okay? So there's 8 stitches in each row. So if you want to sit there and count to 8, or if you want to use your stitch marker, I am going to use my stitch marker and 1 single crochet in each round for rows 2, 3, 4, and 5. So basically for the next 4 rows, it's 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Couldn't be more easy. Only 8 stitches in each round. Super, super easy bunny ear. And it's going to be super cute. And so count your rounds. Okay, so I'm finished with my first round. I have 3 more to go. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 2 more rounds to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 more round to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and then our very last row, we are going to do a decrease single crochet in each stitch around. So we're going to do a decrease, and a decrease, one more decrease, and one more decrease, and we're done. Okay, now we are done. So this is our bunny ear, and what we're going to do is coax it one way or the other, and we're going to coax it to bend forward and to have a little bit of a cup shape. I'm just going to coax it just a little bit. You see that? And that's how we're going to do that. So after that last decrease, I'm going to pull through. I'm going to cut my yarn, and I'm going to leave enough because this is the yarn that I'm going to use to sew it onto my amigurumi, okay, to the top of my little bunny head. So I'm just going to use this to sew it to the top. And so you just make 2 of these, and then be creative with your face. And that's how you do that. This is how you make these little bunnies. And so once you sew them on and you coax the little ears to go forward, obviously this is with a bigger yarn right here. And look at this little guy. See, this one's little and just so adorable. This one would fit in a little basket. It's my little egg bunny. And so anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this. We went a little long today, but this was fun. Amigurumi is fun. It's super fun. It's not hard. It's just make it fun. Make it your own. Follow the YouTube tutorial instructions. Of course, this one was just a crochet along. I wanted to show you how to make this little bunny. I have been so excited about this little bunny. I'm going to put his little face on. Show me your creative pictures of how you make the faces. You know, there's just so many different ways that you can go as far as making faces on this little guy. You can use the plastics, you can embroider, you can crochet separate little eyes and nose if you want, and then just sew it on. Whatever you want to do, it is yours. Make it yours. Get a little pom-pom, put a little pom-pom on his little behind, and he'll be so cute. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed today. Stay safe, be kind, and get hooking. And I will see you tomorrow morning for Whip Wednesday. Can't wait.